So for our next key area, we're going to be looking at two things put into one, and that's going to be your ear training and reading rhythms. Now the reading rhythms part could also be called sight reading, and I know many guitar players normally just on hearing that word go running for the hills. They just run, they're running away. We're not going to be doing sight reading, but we do need to understand and read our rhythms, because so many guitar players I've come in contact with, I've taught, or I know throughout their time of learning, I've used a lot of tab. You can grab a lot of tab now on the internet. It's all free. You can get, you know, so much information out there now, but a lot of times there's no rhythms on there. And they always bring it into me and say, you know, Simon, I'm trying to learn this song, but it doesn't sound right. Am I playing it wrong? A lot of the time, sometimes the tabs are wrong, but sometimes, and most times, it's that the tab is pretty much correct, but they don't know what the rhythms are. They don't know how to play along to it. They're just trying to play along to the record. This is where, when you get proper guitar magazines or anything that's got actual rhythms in, this is written out properly for them, it's better for learning, you can understand the rhythms. You don't need to read the blobs, as I call it, the notes, but you need to be able to understand the rhythms so we can actually play music. So, reading rhythms then. Normally I'll write this stuff down for you, but straight away, like I said in the previous thing, we're going to be applying this onto the guitar all the time. So let's just take a look at a rhythm. Something that's going to be used in the heavy metal style playing is the gallop rhythm. Now this is a mixture of an eighth note, so that's like a half beat, and 16th notes. All right. Now you'll know this. I'm just going to put a bit of distortion on. I'm going to play you a snippet from a song. So did you recognise it? That was a snippet from the Trooper by Iron Maiden. And what that's encompassing is this gallop rhythm, which, as the name suggests, it feels like a gallop or a chase scene or something like that. So you get this rhythm where you get an eighth note, one, and then you've got and a. This is how we count it. We count it 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. You speed it up, you get quite a fast paced, it sounds like there's a chase scene or something like that. It's really good, it's got quite a driving rhythm to it. Now something like that, straight away what you do is we write out the rhythms, get used to it. So you're probably thinking, what the hell is this? I'll never know this, I don't know how to play this rhythm. Straight away we can then link it to something like we're going to do in the ear training in a second, of association. Okay, see the rhythm, oh it sounds like a snippet from that song. Something that you know, and you've got it. Straight away, you split second, you've actually remembered and you've recognised, okay, I know that rhythm, and you can play it straight away. And that is all it is. We just need to find a way in of recognising these things in a quick way. So if we can use them by associating with something else that we know, then it's great. And why not associate with songs and music? Because obviously that's what we're here for. We're learning music. We're trying to learn this, you know, styles of heavy rock and metal. Okay, so that gives you an insight into that, you know. Another way you could do it is you can invert that gallop, and that's very much kind of I always think more of a Slayer thing that they use, where it's 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. So you have the 2 16th notes at the front, which are the quicker ones, and an eighth note at the back of it. So you'd have this. So that's just an inverted gallop, so you just switched it round. Okay, so you've just a mirror effect on it. And that gives you an insight. So, but straight away you could use it. We can try and find songs that you would know that you're really into, and then find a snippet and say, oh look, there's that rhythm. Straight away you can just use that as a reminder of what you've got there. So you go, oh, Trooper, gallop rhythm, or Iron Maiden, or something like that, some kind of reminder. And that just gives you an idea. But that's what we're going to be taking a look at. I will take you through rhythms. From day one, you're going to be learning the rhythms. All of this stuff is building you up from, not the complete basics, but you know, taking you almost from the start and building you up, and always applying this to the instrument. So the other side of things, which is going to be used together with this, is your ear training. What the hell is ear training? Some of you might be saying. Well, ear training is training these things. So that what we can do, hopefully, by the end of it, in a very short period of time, depending on how much you practice, I want to get all of you that come along for lessons to be able to play your favourite songs. Someone will put it on their iPod or CD and say, right, see if you can play me that. And within a very short period of time, you can work out that song and start playing it. Very impressive, it's really cool, and it's just brilliant when that feeling you get when you can put on saying, oh, I love that song, one day it's played, and you sit down and work it out. And it's a sense of achievement because you did it, you worked it out, you didn't go out spending hundreds of pounds on tab books and other stuff that you really don't need. Use your own skills, okay? So, how do we teach ear training then? Well, partly we're going to be looking at how we play things. So I'll be playing you a phrase, say something like this. So really simple like that, where you'd have that played on a CD and we gradually work your way up to you being able to play that back. I'll give you the starting note, then you've got to work out the other notes. But we're going to go right back to basics here. We need to teach you things called intervals. Now what is an interval? Well, an interval is the name we give something when we play two notes together. Because if we play a note on its own, a single note like this, we've labelled that as a D note. That's a D note there. But what do we call it when we play two notes together? Because there's going to be different sounds they're going to create. So this is two notes played together. What do we call that? What do we call this? Okay, and that's what an interval is. It's a relationship between two notes and the distance there is between them, okay, and the sound they create. So we need to learn these, and this is where we're going right back to the foundations, and then we'll work our way up to learning chords and what they sound like, learning whether it's a major chord or minor chord, which is a good thing to recognise, so then you can work out your chords. And then obviously then you start working out riffs, and then ultimately lead up to learning snippets of songs, parts of songs, and then whole songs by ear, by yourself, okay, which is a great thing to be able to do. So this one here I was playing is known as an octave. Now I'd start you off by playing it all over the neck, so we'd teach you it. And then once you've played it, you're doing it ascending, so you're playing the lowest to the highest, then you come back down, so you do. And what you get is you get a CD ultimately of just tons and tons and tons of these intervals being played, and you've got to recognise them. But you only get a short amount, so you'd have octaves and a couple of other intervals together that all work together. So what I'd do is I'd teach you all your perfect intervals at first. And they would include your octave, your perfect fifth, your fourth, your perfect fourth, and your interval, your unison. And they're all perfect intervals, which obviously come along for lessons, I'll go into a little bit more detail. And what we do is after you get used to that, you start recognising the CD. 10 tracks of the same, various different intervals played ascending and descending, and all over the neck as well. And then we get into then the funner stuff of then actually playing certain parts of scales and ascending notes and then descending notes. And like I said, like you saw me play there, that little sort of phrase, you'd start trying to play that back to me. And that's how we build you up. I'll build you up gradually and gradually. And ultimately, you'll have the skill set to be able to work out your own songs. And then you won't need to come along and say, Simon, I want to learn this song, how's it played? Put the CD on and I'll work it out for you. You need to be able to work this stuff out. And that's what I want it to be, so that you come along and you learn quickly. As long as you put the time and effort into this, then you'll have the skills to go away and you'll have these skills forever. And as long as you work on them, they'll always get better. That's a really cool thing to work on. So I hope that was interesting. Just gives you a snippet into the ear training and reading rhythms section that I teach. Stick around and check out the repertoire section, learning songs that we need to learn, and also the improvising and songwriting area as well, which those again now are a mixed area as well. So hope you enjoy them. Check them out. Cheers.